freaking Lido. Welcome to San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network, the only talk show that really exists because we can.
Well, alrighty then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Welcome.
Yeah. You can talk.
How do?
Thanks for having us.
This is a Scorpio show, guys. This is my birthday month. A tribute to Johnny Salcedo's lost weekend last month. All of you guys here were all a part of that. And that's why I decided to have this show. Because I was so impressed with the spirit of all of us that were there. And you got to admit, there was a groove going on, no?
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's something going on here, man.
Feeling.
Yeah.
It was a good
So,
night.
starting off with Dexter Haskins. Pronounce your name right,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes,
Dex?
sir, yeah.
How the hell are you, man?
Good,
John
man.
Jay?
Good. Thanks for having me over. I'm still asleep. I was waking up. I got my coffee. I'm good, man.
All right. John Jay, graduate 75?
Yeah. Wow. Hey, you've done some research. I don't even think I put that.
No, just look it up on Facebook.
I went to Juan Jay.
didn't know.
It was one to Juan Jay back then.
No way.
Jay?
No way.
What did you Google him?
What's up?
Yeah.
No way.
absolutely. Why not?
You didn't go to John Jay High
I
School.
went
You
to John
did.
Jay.
You didn't graduate in
I do not have
75.
false
went to
information
California.
here.
Okay.
I would have gone to Lanier.
Okay.
Would have gone to Burbank. Why not gone to Jay?
Well, that's something.
But he also went to what was it? Some college, SMU.
I did an extension service of SMU.
An
Actually, that was
extension
here.
service. You know what an extension service is, pretty much, right?
It's like alternative school.
Okay.
That's
Sound-
like
there you go.
they don't let you in. They don't let you in.
Sounds
on
sexual
campus.
to me. I don't know.
They don't let you in
Extension
on
service.
campus. I'm not really a
I don't
student.
know.
Yeah, it was pre the blue pill.
Pay
so
your ass off.
I needed that back then.
Yeah, no, you probably
It was a
didn't
technical
need it
school.
back then.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a technical school. It was their SMU's technology.
But Dex, from 75, you're like one of the newcomers up on in here, man. I'm not kidding.
Well,
You're the
age-wise.
youngest. Yeah. So welcome to the Senior
All right,
Citizens
yeah,
Club. We're
Yeah, I
all
was-
senior
I
citizens
was
here,
like, oh,
man.
man, all right.
We're like Johnny. He was saying he's now Medicare eligible. I'm Medicaid. I just 66, man. I just got Medicaid eligible. I don't know what the hell that means.
Well, congratulations, because when
Well,
I
I
get
don't
there,
know.
I'm
I think
gonna
they're gonna
retire
punish
from
me.
work.
I'm ready for
I think
punishment.
it's government-sponsored health care.
Yes.
I think they're going to kick my ass.
Probably so.
Now, that's not in the Bible. Well, it is in the Bible. Ass is in the Bible, so we
Yeah.
can get away with that one.
Well, I mean, I showed my AARP card when I walked in, so I think we're good. I'm at that level now. They sent it over there, so I'm good, right?
He's being accepted.
I haven't got all the benefits you guys have, but I'll get there. I
And
appreciate
Jerry Doyle over here, man, my brother drummer, you know, I had to turn him on to these drumsticks that were given to me by Ernie Durawa, my dear friend Ernie from the Texas Tornadoes. I did him about 3-4 weeks ago from Austin. Great show. Just like this one, Jerry. Any moment, are you doing okay?
I'm okay, man. How about you?
You know, that's how they say to answer that question. How you doing? Fine. How about yourself? It's like, but throw it on the other person. Why not? Hey, but brother's sick today. He was ill. He was going to be right next to you.
Yeah.
Brother took ill, and he's not feeling well, so he had to stay home. Shout out to the twin right now before we get on. But you're
Love you, Jeff. Get better.
Yeah, man. So you're representing today, and how do you feel?
I feel
about it?
good, man. I appreciate you having me.
Sure. Now, who are you representing? Insomnia, Pig Nation, the Doyle Brothers. How many bands have you played with?
Ultra.
Man.
Somebody help me here. How many?
Emerald.
Well, not to date myself, but I did my first professional gig in 1973. Jeff and I did.
Really?
And
73?
so many bands since then. I've been in one band with Tom here.
No way.
Insomnia for 7 years.
Y'all played together?
With Ultra.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry
so you
McGuffin.
came on, they
Larry
pulled
McGuffin.
you into
and
Ultra, huh?
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't have picked
Yeah, I
a
was-
better guitar player. I'm telling you, you're a slasher, man.
Yeah.
Kill.
I
I mean,
was
I meant drummer. I meant
briefly-
drums.
I recently
You're
left-
for the drums.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're a fabulous drummer. That's what I meant.
The other color guy.
Yeah.
It's the other brother.
Can we edit that?
No.
Hey,
It's
you're the
in.
host, man.
It's
You don't
happened
need
more
anything.
than once. Ask him. How many times has that happened?
How many times has it happened? Yeah. I mean, really.
Did what happen?
Well, you look like your brother, damn it.
Oh, shit. Oh, I can say shit? Yes, I can.
That's
what he did.
permissible.
If I had a nickel, I'll
You got
just
a
answer
nickel?
it that way. If I had a nickel,
Well, we,
I would have a house full of nickels. And no bank would take them.
That would be so old. This
Yes.
is like
That is old school.
Like half of these are wooden. What are we doing here?
Now,
Bitcoin, man.
about the sticks that you've let me hold.
Yeah, now listen, hold on. Let me ask the question.
Okay.
What do you think about those sticks of which my dear friend Ernie Durawa from the Texas Tornadoes just recently gave to me?
I'm sure they work perfectly for him, and that's great because I know he's a great drummer.
Yes, he is.
But to me, these are toothpicks.
Did y'all hear that?
yeah.
These are
7A.
toothpicks. These are toothpicks. Now share them with our listening audience here. Check these out. You ever seen a stick like this? I think he paid half price
there's-
because these are promotion sticks.
these are C7s, right?
Forget
Is that
it.
what they
I don't
are?
think they have a size for that.
That-
I think they cut one drumstick in half and then made two. So they made four.
They took a pair of my sticks
Yes.
and shaved them down on a lathe.
I'm telling you, one of my
7As.
sticks is both of those.
Yeah, and Jeff is going to be using 2 Bs like you did when you were in band in high school.
Well, in this
Well,
case,
that's what I use. 2 Bs.
Yeah, telephone
to
poles.
be or not
Yeah,
to be.
2 Bs. That's
It's
what all
actually-
the hard rock drummers use. 2 Bs.
Tree
to
trunks.
be or not
Yeah.
to be. In this case, you would have to use 4 drumsticks, 2 in each hand.
Yes. I would
Which
just
would
tape
pretty
them
be-
together.
Pretty much be. Ernie,
be
can
very
I have another
unique.
set? We want to try that. We want to try that out.
Yeah,
Us
because duct
drummers
tape
wanna
works
know.
for everything.
Inquiry minds. What are you playing nowadays, man?
What do I play?
Yeah, you're still playing that Ludwig, aren't you?
Well, actually, I still have them.
Okay.
My original white double bass set with the huge bass drums that I got way back in 1970. I still have them. They're in my garage. I still have my red Vistalite set.
Okay, cool.
My
That
early
was your
70s
favorite. That was one of your
Vistalite set,
favorites.
which is it's rare, but it's road
I
worn.
like mine medium.
Yeah, I've
I have a
retired them.
Yamaha. I have a
Especially with the
Yamaha,
red,
guys.
it's like a little red.
Retired them. I got to go recently and buy my first ever brand new drum set.
No way.
I've got a set of DW Oxblood Red.
You're one of those
color.
DW guys?
Huh?
Everybody plays DW, man.
Oh man,
They're getting filthy rich.
I got maple. I got a black. I got a brown.
They are.
sweater.
Well, I bought some Yamaha, man. I mean, they'll rival just about any other set.
Those are good drums.
You know, it's depending on how you tune them. As far as I'm concerned, as a drummer, you know, some people don't tune their trap. I like to tune my trap set to whatever it is I'm playing. You know, that's about normal, isn't it?
I tune mine mainly to. I found that different drums sound different as far as their tuning. Even if that's like if you buy 2 Buicks that come off the line with the same specifications, the cars are going to be different.
And the sticks don't help.
Yeah.
The toothpicks, rather. Dexter, you okay?
Yeah, on my drums, these were just.
He's like,
I'm a vocalist, but I'm like,
he's a vocalist. All of a sudden, he's off.
I don't know anything about these.
And
sticks
listen, we
drums,
have
but I'm
to
sure.
bring in Tom now. You know, as somebody that I love dearly, of whom I have called Larry on more than several occasions, which is really funny because that's how this weekend started when you were doing Fitzgerald's. I ran up to you and I said, "Hey, Larry, what's going on?" Because somebody pointed and said, "There's Larry McGuffin," and I thought you were him. So tell me the story about that, Tom.
Then I was walking out to my
Canchola?
truck, and there was, I said, "This is," and I am Tom Canchola, and this guy walks up to me and says, "Hey, that was a great gig, Larry McGuffin," and I was like right in the middle of a handshake,
yeah.
and I'm going, "Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome."
I tell him you don't
but
look
I'm
at.
not Larry.
Yeah, I said
Larry's over there.
you haven't. I said you haven't changed very much, but I was lying through my teeth. I was lying through. I was saying you haven't changed much. You still look the same, man.
Talking out his ass. That's what he was doing.
But it was so funny. All of a sudden he goes, "Well, everything's cool, man. The only thing is Larry's over there." I'm like, "Oh hell!"
I told him, "Come on, we got him off the hook. Like, come on, man, we'll go grab Larry's right over here."
I mean, I'm telling you, this
Now you
was
know how
bad.
it feels.
Yeah, I do. And,
This was
Hey,
bad.
Jeff.
Yeah, but
How you
still
doing?
look the same.
This was bad, and this
You're twin
man.
brothers.
I
right?
don't. Well, I don't feel so bad about that. You look like your brother. You look like y'all could be
That's what twins
Well,
do.
they're twins
Tom.
for crying out loud. They're twins. That's why they look alike, you dummy.
I'll tell you right now, I learned something while I
Tom,
was here.
I mean, Larry.
And I played gigs with this guy,
And you don't even know it.
And he never, I never understood that he graduated from John Jay High School. I graduated from John Jay High School. Should have been 79.
What?
But I was going to like in the middle of the night going to gigs to go see Jerry play.
So you failed.
With
So you failed.
class of 80.
basically. You
with
didn't-
Emerald
You didn't
at,
cut.
at the Razzle Dazzle, and my last year of school was.
So you
just-
failed?
Yeah,
You failed?
yeah, oh yeah.
How do you
It
feel
was-
about that?
it-
Being a failure.
Not bad. It was good. You know, I would go to the smoking
was John
area.
Jay.
It almost happened
Yeah, it
to
was
me.
John Jay. Yeah, but I got,
Jay. It was
yeah,
alright.
I got a
did you call it?
caveat. I got-
Juan
I got-
Jay?
I-
It was
I got-
Juan Jay, yeah.
Juan
yeah,
Jay. So
Juan-
it really didn't matter too much.
I used to call it Juan Hay, but anyway, but it was Jay.
I went to Fox Tech to graduate.
My dad went to Fox Tech.
Thomas, I was going to say, yeah, Jefferson. I went to Jefferson and Fox Tech. Shout out to all my alumni from Edison, Fox Tech, Lee.
Yeah,
I had
you-
to go to all of these schools in order to graduate.
Yeah, you guys aren't going to believe where I went to school.
I don't even want to know. I'm not sure.
Take a guess. You're not going to believe it.
I know.
John Jay.
Churchill. Churchill. What did you say?
Churchill.
John
Alamo
Jay.
Heights, class of
Say
1978.
what? Say who?
Go.
There
Oh,
you
Niner.
go, no,
Oh,
Niner.
Niner in the house.
Yeah. Yep.
Now I
From where I
understand
missed it.
everything.
That- see,
I missed it. From where?
Huh?
From where?
Alamo Heights, class of 1978.
I love
Niner.
Alamo Heights, man. I hated their football team because they always killed
That's
us.
because we beat you. That's why. Every freaking time.
But
Well,
Alamo Heights had all the marshals.
in '79, I was
We were
supposed
playing
to
off
graduate,
casino apps.
which would have been right there with Jerry. But I actually graduated in '80, and my last year in high school was really.
Can you
great
hear
because
Tom
I could
okay?
go to the store
Okay.
and buy beer. When
No,
I
you
was
didn't buy-
18,
So-
it was
Yeah,
my
man,
whole
that was-
senior year. I was
You
in-
were
that was
really
our trend.
popular.
And yeah,
That was our
and
trend,
it was
though.
like, hey man, I got a bag, and buddy, I got my mom's Cadillac, and I got $20. Get Tom. We're going to the lake. Look, the hell with this school thing, and that happened so often that the last 2 months of school,
It's
when
called-
all the cool senior skip days were happening,
Larry.
they came and got me and told
Larry,
me I
it's
could
called
not get out.
skipping out, Larry.
Tom. I don't know. Larry might have skipped out. I don't
Tom.
know, but I didn't.
Well, he's gonna know when he sees the show.
No.
But your name, Canchola.
Canchola.
I mean, just the way it sounds, right?
Yeah, that is it, Canchola. And that name
I get all
comes
these
from
names
the
right because I'm
Pyrenees
Mexican.
Mountains between France and Spain. There was some people who lived up there named Canchola. They were extremely good horsemen, and they came over to Texas to work at the McFadden Ranch.
What
is
happened
the
to you?
story?
What happened to you?
Yeah,
You
and
failed-
yes, and
you-
and that's
you
the
failed
story.
high school.
However, from what's
Sorry.
really told among the uncles and cousins from way back is what they were they were really good with horses, but they were really like stealing horses. It's what they were. Yeah, they were gypsies
They
from
were
the
thieves.
mountains, and they were kind of in a lot of trouble. And there was a ranch in South Texas that was going to help them out, so they kind of got
Go
them out of
figure.
jail and sent them over there to work legitimately for
Oh,
some
wow.
people. And that's
Sounds
kind
like
of
the Mexicans, man.
yeah, and that's
They're
kind of
saying
the
over
I'm official here. Damn, that is an unofficial story.
He's wondering. He's
That
wondering.
is a
Curious about
tale
that.
that's been handed down, and yes, they came and worked the McFadden Ranch. That would be fact. Exactly, that they came from the Pyrenees Mountains. That would be fact. All the rest of that in between there, well, that was just maybe my uncles talking when they were having a few beers.
So Dex, now that you're having your coffee, though, what was the gig that you played with Tom here? Because he doesn't remember much. We have to
We
help him
played
on.
Fiesta. We did a few Fiesta shows
Oh, yeah.
together. Back with Dave.
Yeah,
And,
David Williams.
Renee Segura and Mickey.
That's where I got
Peña.
Renee and Mickey.
And,
I went and saw them at Fiesta.
Mickey, I
So
had
you
met
did a
Mickey
couple of
through
shows there?
Yep, we did. I had met Mickey.
How do you
through a
feel
couple
about
friends.
playing with multiple bands? I mean, this is for all of y'all, but really for you, Dex. How do you feel about, for me, I played with one band, and that was my claim to fame with Crystal Winter, right? But thereafter, I did my own little groove where I didn't dedicate myself, but I did do it for the reason of study. Like home cooking. Everybody knew they were Earth, Wind, and Fire, so I went to go do their conga routine so that I could learn it, you know. And I studied Santana to do that, you know.
Gotcha.
So I branched off, and then the country, and then the jazz, and then the funk, and you know, it just went full circle.
Well, as we
do you
talked
like?
about my
What do you
age,
like?
I actually started playing with just one band for about 10 years, 10, 11 years, doing all originals, and I was a grunge baby, right? We grew up, you were graduating when I was 4 years old, so I was, you know, later on.
That's what I'm trying to
but,
say.
But I got into rock and music more.
So this is very peculiar,
Correct.
man. To
Right,
have
so-
someone your age.
Right,
group
so I had a
with
a
us.
band, an original band that was doing,
He's all gray and everything. He can hardly speak.
we're doing like more
But he can
heavier,
hear really well.
you know, and
Sorry, Larry.
we were part of the whole St.
Hey,
Mary's
Joe.
strip, like everybody else. We're doing St. Mary's strip on the original stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember all that stuff.
And then we took a break, or we stopped because, you know, we're doing the scene changed, and Mickey came up to me and asked me if I'd ever done covers before, and I had never thought about it, but I like music and I wanted to play for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, so yeah, I mean, I had done a few with him, a couple of quick one-offs, stand up, go fill in or something, and then he said, well, I'm getting together with some guys. I have some dates booked for Fiesta, and can you learn covers? You know, he was asking me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. First, here's a funny story. So first rehearsal we have,
Yeah.
you know, these guys are polished in the scene, doing
They
done a
are?
bunch of stuff, right? Well, I mean, you know,
Sure.
I was
they
told,
are.
you know, I was told these guys are, you know, top.
Sure.
And so he gives me a list, about half the songs on the
Cheers to
list I really
Scorpios.
hadn't even heard before. Yeah. And I probably have, but I had never sang it before. And we go to rehearsal, and I was very choppy, and I was very unsure. I was, you know, flipping through papers, the first, you know, rehearsal, the lyrics, and catching up, and I'm behind.
The way you were the other night.
Huh? Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Great
I have
show.
lights on my face then, so I don't care.
You did
But
a great show.
after rehearsal,
Stone Temple Pilots.
after
by the way.
rehearsal, the next time,
Review.
Mickey calls me and he says, "Hey man, the guys are kind of worried about you. You know, the guys are kind of worried that
I'm worried about
that-
you right
Yeah,
now."
exactly. And I said, "Well, that's everybody."
scared.
I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, they're kind of worried and you know." After going back and forth for a while, he goes, "Look, Dex, I'm giving you an out." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "I'm giving you an out if you want to, you know, if you want to drop out so we can find someone else." I'm like, "Fuck
Wow,
no,
man.
I go,
All
bro.
right.
I go, bro. I got this. I go, I got this. I go,
There you
hey
go.
man.
That's it.
I
That's
go,
what you
these
wanted
guys.
to hear.
I go, y'all played these songs for fucking ever, bro. Give me. I got you. Give me one more. I'll see you at the next rehearsal. Next rehearsal went much better,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
our shows, I thought we kicked it out of the park, man.
we knocked it out.
So after
we
the,
did.
after the
It was
first
good.
set, Tom comes up to me. I don't know if you remember this. After the first, he goes, "I'm so glad we didn't get rid of you, Dex. Thanks, man."
Did you have to
I was
vote
like,
on it?
"Damn."
Did you have to vote on it, Tom?
No, there was no
was a
vote.
shoo-in. It was a shoo-in.
He just came in and did his business. That's it, basically it. He came in, and plus
I shit
think
all
there
over the
was-
place.
there-
My
there-
business.
There was a little bit of problem with your voice at the time. I think
I think it
was like-
sounded bad.
There was like, were you
just kidding.
like had a cold or something?
Help me,
Yeah,
Jerry.
well, it
That's
was
what
right
it
during
was,
it was
right?
during Fiesta, and I was coming off like this respiratory allergy thing, and that's why I told him, I said, "No, I got this. I know what I can
Yeah,
do, and I know that right now, unlike an instrument, you can just tune it the same every time.
Yeah.
If I'm not healthy, I can't belt."
And
More
I
phase
think that
shifter.
that was
I was
more
more
of it. That
phase shifter,
was
man.
that, and I was
Right.
like, this guy is good, but he's got some problems. Is his voice going to be okay? And it came right. It came right through.
Yeah.
And we did do some Fiesta gigs, and actually, those were some pretty strong gigs.
Now,
Yeah,
you
they
don't,
were-
you don't have
they
that
were
problem, though,
they
do
were
you?
very good.
Singing.
Well, I mean, occasionally.
You sing a little bit.
Sometimes you gotta sing, you know, especially if you're doing a lot of gigs that you're obligated to do.
Yeah.
And there are going to be times when, now, fortunately, don't hate me, guys. I have no allergies.
I can't stand you.
But, so the mountain
that's why you're on
cedar
the
and
show.
shit like that doesn't get to me. But there
Nice.
are times that you've sung multiple nights that your voice is a little tired and you don't have what you normally have. You just learn to make do
Yeah.
with what you have at that particular time.
It's kind of like what Dex was just talking about. He had to go through that, you know. It's just the
Right.
thing.
And the first time, though, a lot of it
But
too
you
was
don't
I didn't
stop
know
the
these
show
songs.
because-
Yeah,
A lot of it too is I didn't know the songs. I was like, "Can you sing
Proud Mary?
Sammy Hagar, you know? I've heard the song a million times. I'm like, which one? It was like, Sammy Hagar. You see, I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to listen to it. And I'll go listen. But that rehearsal, didn't even know where he was at in it. And then we go, and here we are playing it as a closer.
But you were used to grunge is what the whole story was.
Well, I started wanting to play music with that style. But I'm a huge music aficionado. Beatles are my number one.
Here we go.
Although they have to be, right?
Here we go, though. The question of the day for this November birthday show, we're celebrating mine, Johnny Salcedo's, any Scorpio. But regarding why you got into music, we were talking about this. Jerry, start with you, man. Why did you get in? What made it happen for you? We'll go around.
It's kind of a funny story. I went in, it was literally the summer of 69. 1969, not 1869.
Thank God.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
They got it. Yeah,
I wasn't too sure. I'm glad you
I had gone on what they nowadays call a play date. We didn't call it that.
Oh.
I'd just gone to hang out
A
at
play
his
date?
house, and his older brother had a drum set at the house that they kind of shared. And the kid that was in my class, he could play a little bit. And he got behind the drum set, and he did
The
had a
roll.
little 5-piece kit, and he did a 4/4 roll, cymbal crash, and said he made it look easy. He said, "Here, do this." So I got back there. Well, I never played a drum set before. I couldn't do that. So I went and asked Mommy and Daddy that year because I was 9. Dad had already let the clown out of the box that about the Christmas thing. If there are any children listening, I won't ruin that for you. But I had no illusions, so I asked Mommy and Daddy for a drum set. And ironically, Jeff had done something, and a kid showed him a guitar. So he got his first guitar, and I got my first drum set for Christmas of 1969.
Wow.
And that's when we started.
That's incredible. That's a great story, by the way. Parents are lovely when they support that kind of groove, especially when it wasn't happening back then. It wasn't happening back then, but they copped some of that Beatle buzz. We're going to talk to Dex. Dex, what turned you on into wanting to be the musician of which you've become?
Looking cool. My uncle.
Yeah.
So growing up,
So looking good helps.
Well, looking cool. I didn't say good. I said looking cool.
Man.
And I'm talking cool back when I'm a kid. What I saw was cool was my uncle Frank Guzman. He was a drummer in San Antonio.
Frank Guzman.
He was a drummer. And
probably know
so as growing up, we lived right behind Lanier off Trinity Street.
I know.
I lived, so my mother and my aunt were single parents. And so me and my cousins would sit there, my male cousin Victor, and my youngest aunt showed up, and for the first time I saw cool. My Uncle Frank had long hair, Fu Manchu mustache, bell bottoms, Kiss t-shirt, walks in, and he was about 17, 18, and he was a drummer. And we went over to his apartment, and you could smell all the incense, and I didn't know why, right?
Yeah.
All the incense are going.
I'm sure.
And,
You do now.
And he had on the wall.
I'm sure it
he
was
had Kiss,
incense.
those black light posters that were like felt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He had the La Semana mirror, the feathers. I mean, and he was into Indians. He was into to rock and music, and he was showing this journey. He'd put it on the record, and he'd just play along with it. And we're just kids staring at him. And I just thought it was the coolest shit ever, man, looking at him. And then so me and my cousin, we'd get our mom's belts and some brooms. Pretend we're playing guitar to Kiss on the radio with these big tower speakers in the living room. Yeah, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And then so I always liked music. And then as I got older, through middle school and high school, I never tried to do vocals or sing or anything. I love music, but I wasn't practicing it.
Really?
And went to a party, and it was after Nirvana came out, but I heard Sex Type Thing from STP. And I fell in love with the band and just that sound. So it was a little heavier, but it's still more rock. It wasn't as grunge, but and then we started singing it, and it just felt like I could hit those notes, or I was being told, and I just continued. And that's why I'm an STP fan now.
What was
right?
the band that was happening in, what, 75? I think the
No, no, no,
Partridge Family was hitting really hard.
Huh?
The Partridge Family was hitting really hard.
Yeah. Well, this is
where
this
you
is
got
like
your-
79, 80. I'm about 5 years old. 80, 81, 82.
Well, who were you listening to when you thought, I'll aspire to be that way? You know, were you thinking Stones or the Beatles? Or, I mean, because you're a lot younger than us. So
Right.
We're thinking, you
well,
know.
from like the story I just said, from a kid standpoint, seeing cool and liking music
Was
then
your
was
uncle?
awesome. Was my uncle.
Wow. He's
probably
lived
Def
a very
Leppard.
sheltered life.
Def Leppard, Guns N' Roses.
Okay,
When I
okay.
was in middle school,
Now we're
we're
talking.
hitting as far as the rock. Because before there, it was a lot of pop, and then it kind of morphed into. Yeah, I loved Def Leppard was huge. They were great.
They were great.
You know, they were great. And the Friday night video fights on MTV between like Quiet Riot and yeah, right. Remember those?
remember
Yeah,
those.
Quiet
Yeah, I
Riot, and
remember
like
those.
every Friday was a different two bands, and Def Leppard and Motley Crue were always topping those things and winning. You know. So just seeing that, but as far as wanting to play, the STP was
The
the
reason.
first band that I wanted to play.
The
I wanted
reason was
sing.
to be cool.
Right. Well,
No, but that's what you
I
said.
thought it looked cool, but then the reason became more but then the reason became more heartfelt because I dived into Zeppelin, which is all pre me, right? This is I wasn't they weren't popular. They were broken up already. John Lennon got killed. I didn't even know the significance when I was a kid because I didn't know what they were. So
That's
I
almost
dove into the
criminal.
Beatles, dove into Zeppelin, dove into Pink Floyd, and just started right at the end of high school and started getting into that. And that's what inspired me then to continue with music.
Well, check
there.
this groove out. We want to get over to Tom over here. Tom, what inspired you to get into music?
Yeah, I would say it was my brother-in-law, Frank. He had a Gibson Marauder and a custom tuck and roll 215. I guess they were like, I think they're 60 watt or 100 watt.
Had to be
And he
60
played on this
watters,
thing,
yeah.
and him and my sister were moving to Connecticut. My sister got accepted to Yale University, and they were taking everything with them. And at the literally in the driveway, they could not load this guitar and amplifier in. and my brother-in-law told me,
I
I'm going to
get
leave
this
this
story.
with you. And I said, well, I'm going to learn how to play it. And at the time I was not very good at it, but was wanting to try. And then he said, I will give it to you if you learn how to play.
Wow.
I never stopped playing it. I never
the guy
stopped.
could throw
I would
down.
come home from school and play that
He could
guitar.
throw
Till
down
my
some
mom was
guitar.
like, turn that damn thing off, and I would pull the jack right out of it, throw it over the amplifier, kick it off, and keep playing. I would not stop.
Wow.
I
You
would
were
not stop.
disobedient.
I would not stop. I would not stop.
You were
and when my brother-in-law
disobedient.
came back, I had that thing wide open with the old Electro Harmonix Big Muff Pie. Fuzz
Jeez,
pedal
the
running
fuzz
through
pedal,
it,
yeah.
and was just ripping Zeppelin power
Black
chords
Sabbath.
through it. And my brother-in-law came in and just looked at me and shook his head and walked away. And I never talked with him again about that guitar or that amplifier. They've been mine ever since. In fact, the custom tuck and roll I sold it, and I shouldn't have. But I just recently bought another one.
Wow.
So I bought a silver one with a black head. I just picked it up about 2 months ago, and I still have the Gibson Marauder. And that was my first guitar, and I really dug at it the
That's
first
incredible.
time, and I would not stop. But later on, I ran into two really good guitar players. The first one was a guy named Bruce Pipkin. I had my brother playing drums with us.
Pipkin. Name sounds familiar.
And we could not find a bass player who could keep up. And I just said, I'm buying a bass, and I have this custom tuck and roll 215.
That's why I
and
have
I'm just
my
gonna run
bass,
it through
my
there
guitars.
and played the bass. I think it was an Aria Pro 2 Cardinal Series 4-string I bought for $200. And started playing bass. And then later on, I ran into David Williams, and he's a very strong guitar player, and
Yeah, he's good.
and I
Hi, David.
hey Dave, what's
up, David?
But I kept playing bass, and have moved on to 5 strings and now 6 string.
Okay, my
bass.
turn. I was in the 3rd grade, did a talent show.
That was a good story, though.
I think I was barely 7. I was barely 7, so if you do the math, I'm 66. I've been playing for 59 years. Stop that.
No, I can't.
Wow.
Well,
I carved my own drumsticks.
I told you when I started it was 69.
See
So
what I'm saying? So I carved my own drumsticks, and they were thicker than that.
okay.
At least I knew what a stick looked like.
All right.
Yeah, well, you're a drummer. You know what 2Bs are. They're tree trunks.
To be and not to be, yeah. Or not
Compared to
be.
these,
tree
yeah.
trunks, there are 2 of them, yeah, at least.
Well, now I
wait. We got to talk about this real quick. Most memorable silly moments, but for the sake of time. Do you have something on your mind that happened at a gig that was probably the weirdest thing? And it's a big hit on the show. Most memorable silly moments.
I got the perfect thing.
Tell me, please.
We were out with Emerald in the 80s.
No way.
And most of the gigs we did were opening for national acts that were either coming through or doing the Cardi circuit, if y'all remember the Cardi circuit.
Pat Travers.
El Paso, Dallas, Houston,
Sure.
San Antonio, Austin. And we were here, but we'd just come back from Houston. We'd always rent the same 14-foot motorhome to go out in. So we pulled up behind Cardi's, and the original other guitar player, not Larry McGuffin, but the other guy, I won't name names
Okay.
because this was a criminal act. And the bass player at the time, now his name was Robert Chavez.
Okay.
His stage name was Bobby Chapters,
He
which
sounds
we
like
would just
trouble
giggle
already.
behind his back. But anyway, long story short, they did not like each other.
That's not a good thing.
There's the fiery, passionate hate, especially from the guitar player to the bass player.
What?
Many reasons for that. He just didn't like it.
Okay.
So
One night.
I get done with we get done with sound check, and those two take off first. So we're piddling around, and I go back, and I open the door, and I climb on up the stairs of the motor coach, and the guitar player has Robert by the neck, both hands, and his arms are.
Oh my God!
If you could only see the
And-
face,
and-
we could get a close up. That was a hellacious face
And
shot.
Robert was blue, and his eyes were bulging. The man was going to kill him.
Oh my God!
I was the only one there, so
Kill the
I
Mexican.
immediately ran up and did it.
What?
And broke his grip on him,
My gosh!
and Robert was able
Can you do
to
that
sit
again?
down, and I told the guitar player,
do
who
that
I will not
backwards.
name,
Were they on
Larry
stage?
knows who he is.
They were on stage?
Huh?
They were still on the sound check stage?
No, they were in the
No,
truck.
they were-
Oh,
sound
the
check was
tra-
over.
They were in the motorhome.
throwing
Yes.
down in the
Okay.
truck.
Yes, so I told the guitar player, Paya, get out of here. Buena bye. And was able to get Robert calmed down. And,
Why?
but he had some bruising, and he had to wear a high collar for several weeks.
Sissy.
Yeah, so
Sissy.
you wanted something morbid or more memorable and maybe a little bit grisly.
That was it.
That was the.
Yeah, that Rico
That was a
Suave,
criminal
the
act.
Dickies.
I mean, in 50 years of playing gigs, I've seen a lot of wild things, but that is probably one of the wildest.
Sounds almost killer.
Now we did do
Ouch.
a private show, pre-show party, pre-tour party for the Scorpions and Wasp, where all of their equipment was already packed in the trucks. And by this time, Jack Orban, Stone City, who we were attached to,
Hey, Jack.
was running the
Stone?
Losers Club, which was down on West Avenue.
is.
It was called something else. It was a rock saloon at one time. So he closed the club for a private party, and there was exotic dancers and fire trucks
Yay.
and drugs of many varieties. And
Okay.
Hell
so
yeah.
we brought our equipment because theirs was in the trucks ready to go the next morning. And Rod Morgenstern and Scorpions and all the guys were jamming on our equipment, my white Ludwigs.
Yeah.
And
I want to charge them. 10%.
yeah, Rod, they were rode hard and hung
10%,
up
right,
wet
Diggs?
by that time because I never had cases for them. Rod, great guy, great drummer, but he's left-handed. So he
Oh, that's
kind
trouble.
of, he didn't know who I was. So you got to switch these things around for me.
you
He couldn't
gotta
do it
switch.
himself, obviously. So I switched the drums around so a left-handed 10 guy could play them. And he said, these things look like garbage cans. I said, yeah, well, just wait till you play them. Because they did. I never had cases for them, and I'd had them since 1969. But then this was in the 80s. But it was a wild party. He loved them after he played them because they're incredible drums.
Damn lovely.
And at one point, myself and Klaus Miner's singing, Rudy's playing guitar, Francis is playing bass, and a couple other guys, maybe a couple of guys from Wasp, or was it Winger they were in? I forget. It's been a long time.
Do they all want to
we're
stab
like,
each other?
well, hey, it's a jam session. What do you know? So we're doing Surrender by Cheap Trick.
Okay, cool.
And it was a pretty cool experience getting up there to jam with those guys.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a wild party,
Those are big acts.
too.
Those are big acts. Moving on to Dex. Do you have a most memorable silly moment for me? And if not, we'll move on to Larry. Tom.
That has got to be my most memorable silly moment.
The Tom formerly known as Larry.
Impersonating
We're
Larry.
going to come back to it.
Larry, I hear your last name it means horse thieves.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Larry the horse thief.
Yeah, go. No,
Look him up online.
Memorable moment. I don't know if it's silly.
Most memorable silly moment.
Silly moment. One that comes to mind when he brought up the motorhome was back in my original band. Oh man, back in 2004 or 5, we won a radio contest in Houston to play this 3-day festival that was going to have a bunch of more of the 80s, Dangerous Toys, Slaughter. The headliners were Sammy Hagar one night, Twisted Sister, Alice Cooper.
Okay.
All right, so we were like ecstatic, and a buddy of mine was going to lend me this really nice RV that he had, huge, that expanded. It was nice, yeah, to let me go up there with the band, and we're like, cool. Now we're relying on that. So
I would have been happy in my Mitsubishi, man.
well, we were gonna go either way, but we were like, it'd be really cool. And the guy was like, he was a follower of the band. He's like, oh, I'll let you use it, no
cool.
problem. And we're like, yes, no problem. And we're gonna take off on, Thursday because the festival was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll leave Thursday after work. We'll be there, yada yada. We have an envelope with credentials in there. We have an RV parking pass. It's not necessarily with the headliner bands, but we have this RV parking pass for this park. Anyway, long story short, it's a bust. We can't use that RV after all. We find out Thursday afternoon. I'm scrambling to find a vehicle. What we're going to do. Yeah. A buddy of mine who owns some U-Haul places.
What a booger.
He said, man, I have an RV you can borrow, and I'll let you use it. And the guy, he's like, it's not as big as this other one, but it'll work, and it'll fit the band. And okay. I pull up to go pick up this UV, and it's huge, rent me, written on the side of it, because it's advertising, But I'm like, screw it, fuck it, we're taking it, no big deal.
There's that F word again.
Yeah, there we go. So we head out Thursday, and we're young, and having a great time. We're going to play this festival, and so we're partying in the RV, and we get
no way
closer, and we're like, hey, man, Dex, you pull in because you know what's going on. You talk well, and you have the package.
You're the least high.
Yeah, so we pull, but I'm not sure I was, but we pull over, I swap, and then we get to, and there's a couple entrances here, and I just see artist entrance, and I said, and there was a line. And I'm like, I just went around it. I'm going artist entrance. I'm just going to keep going until somebody stops me. So we pull in all around, and we come across these two kids and sitting there, and I just pull up and say, hey, man, we're at the band. We're playing tomorrow and Saturday, and I got all this shit here in this envelope. I'm not sure what it's for. We need to park. We're tired. We're driving in. Help me get through there quickly. And the kids just, yeah. Just looking around, and they're talking to each other. And I'm like, man, come on, man. We're dying here. We got to get through. And, he goes, you have the red bag. Whatever's in there's in there, buddy. I don't know. That's what's in there. And we just got to get, and they're just starting to freak out. And so he said, okay, well, he goes, he has red, man. Let him through. Like, all right, let him through. So we turn around. He goes, follow that path. We pull in. Well, here's our rent me RV. Tons of badass RVs, right? I just pull off the farthest. I pull off to the farthest side. I pull up,
and you're in a freaking U-Haul.
So Queensryche is next to us, and then there's Slaughter, and then there's Twisted Sister, and then we're all out, and we just all get out. Bear cans fall out. This big six pack looking like the movie Six Pack, Brewster. I got this Winnebago basically, and beer cans are falling out, and we just had a great night partying with all these greats that we've seen and loved. So in the morning, all I hear is, and I look up, and it's the windshield of of the Winnebago, or the trailer, and it's a security guard.
You don't
banging
belong
on-
here.
Out the window, what's going on? I'm like, I fell asleep in the driver's seat of the and I'm like, what? He's like, you don't belong here, buddy. And I'm like,
I would have said,
I'm like, what do you mean, man? I got this red tag. Just get this shit out of here.
well, I would have.
It's all right. We already did it.
I'm
Good.
like, hey,
I'm
we're
good.
Hey, man, we're with the band. We're
Thank you,
playing
Larry.
today. He goes, you're not with these bands. Get this Winnebago. We got out. We finally saw like the damage because they're great trailers, and then ours just looks over here to the right, man. So that was a memorable. I got tons of stories from that weekend. It was great. Met a lot of great people. Sammy was amazing. All sorts of people. But the entrance to it was just awesome with all.
That is funny. Now, bring it over here to Larry / Tom.
I think when we went and Wolfpack, I was playing with Wolfpack, and we took Rick
Wolfpack.
Sanford,
Tom Canchola here.
and we were doing an opening for it was Frank Marino at the Cadillac Club.
You know Frank Marino.
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah,
Okay.
and I got a chance to meet the guy, and I wasn't like all over him and say, hey Frank, how's it going? Good to meet you, this and that, and all this stuff is going on, and we're getting ready to go on, and Frank has taken a long time getting his stuff together, and he had his pedal board. I think it was like 15 feet long, and it just opened up, and it looked like Frankenstein in there, and he was just messing with it and resoldering stuff and just taking his time, and all this stuff is going on there. But later on, Frank Marino went to play, and he was incredible. And I was standing there with David Williams on the side watching him, and they had gone by the end of the night. They had gone like almost 45 minutes over. Like all the staff was pissed off because Marino was still playing. And I was standing there, I was watching Frank Marino play, and he may have been like the best blues virtuoso, or from blues to virtuoso guitar player I had ever seen. I've never seen anything like that. He took the virtuoso world and the blues world and combined them together like
he did do
nobody
something
else.
special.
It was phenomenal, and Williams was in front of me pacing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I was like he was like he was like he was emotionally challenged at that moment. I never seen him pace back and forth, and he comes up to me and he's like, nobody can stop him. Goes back and forth, and he comes back. He says he can't stop himself.
Oh my God!
Going back and forth, and I'm just looking at it, and I turned around to another partner of mine, a friend of mine who came.
Concert's over.
Joe Gonzalez. Was it Joe Gonzalez? What's his name? Joe. He was standing next to me, and I said, Frank Marino, my God. And he goes, no, Frank Marino, my God.
Wow.
and we're watching them play. But then
So basically, he held up the show
Yeah.
because his number was just so good,
yeah, well, he
and it
played,
mesmerized you.
he played the show. It
And you
was
almost
great.
fell out.
It was great. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes on along
I'm
with
sure.
that, and I was contemplating pulling it all out, but it involves a lot of other people and stuff that is illegal, and I'm just going to leave that part there. You can imagine.
All the
I'm
stories
going to
out
say
there.
this.
Yeah.
You can imagine what was going on when we were with Rick
Oh,
Sanford
yes, I can.
man.
Oh, yes, I can.
in the back,
Yes,
in
I
the
can.
back
Yes.
room with the waitresses
Present.
bringing in the food and some drinks for us to hang out with, and I was like, wow.
Okay, my
But
turn.
I'm just going to let that go.
My
That was
turn.
fun.
Yeah.
Teen Canteen, 1960. I don't know what.
Yeah, we did the
13th floor,
70s
13th
Teen
floor
Canteen,
elevators. You know when ZZ Top was ZZ Top back then, 13th floor elevators. Anyway, we would do Battle of the Bands shows at Teen Canteen. Sam Kinsey, shout out to you, Sam. He brought up a lot of great guys, right? And he's throwing down another get together. The girls are in December, so keep your ears out for that. Now, we were setting up. Claire and ourselves were playing. That's Vinnie Coy. You know Vincent Coy.
Yep.
Okay, so Vinnie Coy, and he's a protege of Galen Niles, And we were talking about Galen taught a lot of the guys, a lot of guitar players how to play because he was the only one that knew scales. So anyway, that's where that came from. Partner man was doing scales, but my brother had this casino amp, 200 watt, 410-inch, just 200 watt, man, but solid state. And partner man Vinny had a 68 twin Fender tube amp. And Vinny really liked the way my brother's amp sounded because we added a 15-inch. We did a 15-inch JBL and just added it into another cabinet and stacked it so it looked like a Marshall. Sounded great. And so Vinny said, I wonder what it would sound like if we hooked up piggyback. And so piggybacked the twin with the casino, and they Bob and Vinny eloquently hooked that up. And then, it came time to test it, and I think my brother Bob had first rein, and he throws down some kind of solo from Holy Heck. And then the Vin man, Vinny, gets his chance and throws down all his scales. And the whole crowd is like, oh my God. It literally sounded like two Marshalls together. I mean, it's a phenomenal sound I've never heard. Probably will never hear it ever again at Teen Canteen. And as soon as that's over with, they both throw down. All of a sudden you hear, Bob Ocampo, come to the office, please. It's Sam Kinsey. It's Sam Kinsey. And we're all going, oh, shit. No. And so it happened. We got reprimanded.
You remember what would happen if you got too loud?
Well,
yeah, those spotlights.
We almost destroyed the place, man. Between Vinny and my brother Bob Ocampo, they hooked up a monster. And so it was tube amp and solid state.
Oh, man.
Well, what a combination. That's all I can say. I love tube amps and I love solid state. But you put them together and, man, what a sound. What a crunch. So that's my most memorable silly moment, was getting cursed by Sam Kinsey just before we had to go on. And Clear was great. Those were great days. A lot of great bands. Straw Dogs. There's so many bands.
Straw Dogs.
Can you remember any of those bands?
I remember Straw Dogs.
Yeah, but I mean more than that. There were Excalibur.
Alexis.
Alexis. You sure that wasn't your girlfriend?
And Breaker.
Breaker.
And
Yeah.
Winter Cat.
Yeah, Winter Cat.
Winter Cat.
Winter Cat, yeah, and Chris
John
Winter.
Grill and Chris Watkins, yeah.
And Dex, he doesn't know a damn thing of what we're talking about.
No
He's
idea.
like, what?
Yeah, no, but when I was playing the strip, the scene there was, a little bit harder. Low Key, Medicine Tongue, Meek, Element, Intense, the band that I was in. It was kicking, but that was the last time that was the last time when you were still handing out flyers to get people to shows.
Burning desires. Now's your chance to have a burning desire. If you have one last thing you want to say it now or forever hold your peace. Now you're going to come back sooner or later. We're going to throw down. We're going to do a little something. Now you all are now, veterans of the show. So if you have any burning desires, for me personally, it's all the listening audience that has been with us from the very get-go. 13 years ago, I started this thing at the Cove, and it's just progressed with the help of Louis Antoine, our new engineer, coming through Marius Perron. And then I get this awesome opportunity to sit down with these guys and sit and talk about our lives, and that's what the show is really all about. It's kind of focusing on how we've been and what we're doing. Now, just one last thing, because you're actually, Jerry, you're my special guest today, and we didn't talk about Pig Nation. This is a new recording through Marius Perron, so this is my burning desire. Talk about Pig Nation, brother.
Well, Pig Nation is the new original project / old original project. We originally had it about 25 years ago. And,
Damn, that's old.
Yeah. But we've
some
got...
good memories they don't, time, they actually get better.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
They do.
We've got 20 original songs.
Nice.
And they're
20,
all finished.
nice.
We're going to take probably about 14, 15 best, put them on a CD. We need a singer. Want to talk to you about that,
I have
Dex?
several.
trying to
singers.
I was listening to Pig Nation in the car
Yeah.
over here. What you sent me, I wasn't
But,
sure.
I want to throw down with you guys too, but I'm just telling you, there's some things here that are very dynamic. So
Yeah. And other than that, I would say thanks for having me. I'm honored.
Oh, man.
I'm
You're to be
also
honored.
appreciative of all of the great musicians over
How about
many years that I've played with and performed with.
How about the guys that have been on the show?
Huh?
How about the guys he's like,
Yeah.
Who cares
Tom
about them?
and Dex. And,
He's like, I'm special
I don't
guest
care
today. What are you
about
talking
them.
about?
No,
on the
yeah, wait
show.
a minute. He's special.
He's special guest.
We're waiting on him.
He's not even wearing a jacket. For
I know, right? I was like,
guys from Emerald and the Bad Boys and Wayne Wilson. Shout out to Wayne Wilson.
Wayne Wilson,
Great
okay.
singer. And Pig Nation, and I was with Ultra briefly, and I'm just appreciative to the fans over the years and all the great musicians that I've been able to work with. And
Belmore.
grateful to you for having me here.
Absolute, man. It's my pleasure.
Thanks, Ed.
And Dex, shout
Burning
out
Desire.
to, yeah,
right?
to all
That was
your
a question,
good
Burning
friends.
Desire.
Your Burning Desire.
I'd
sure.
like to
Shout out to your friends included.
shout out to all my friends. Shout out to all the bands I played with. Original band Sentence, Texas Pink Floyd, Stone, Still Remains, my current STP tribute that I'm currently
That threw
performing
me
in.
all off when I saw your page. I was like, who's he with?
Yeah, so I've
There's
been, you know,
10 bands.
right. Burning Desire, though, I would love to play Second Gardens. Many of you that have been playing for a while probably maybe I played there before. I played the Tobin, which was great, but I'd like to do before I stop playing. I would love to play Second Gardens, hopefully with some of you guys.
We need to bring it
Put
back.
a show
We need to
together
bring it back.
with
Yeah.
you guys. You
So
know,
maybe
That's
that's
very
what we could do.
interesting.
We could put a show together, bring back Second Gardens.
Yeah.
Because there's a
Yeah.
reason why that place exists, and we were it at that time. It's time to really share.
yeah,
it with
before
the
this
world.
last show
It's a
with
great
Ultra
place.
that just happened, I was doing my homework and looking for
Galen's
sound
been
from
playing
them, and
there since
there's a
forever.
nice video of them online in '76, I think, at Sunken Gardens. Ultra playing
That
Sunken
was
Gardens,
Homer.
and I'm
Back
just
in the
looking
day,
like I
Homer.
remember seeing shows there. You know, I remember going to seeing STP there and Foo Fighters, my age, but it was great, and I would just love to play that stage. You know?
Tom,
Yeah, well, I
your
remember
burning
climbing.
desire, your final shout out to everybody.
I remember climbing over the back fence at the Sunken Gardens. To see the live shows. Come on, man.
There's a special tree
Come
back
on.
there.
I know there's a lot of you out there who've done it.
Absolutely.
I've done it, and that's great. Playing with Ultra right now and seeing how far back they go and what they were actually doing at the time.
I think they're
that they were
old.
doing and listening to all the stuff and bringing it together.
They played great, though.
It was
Really.
it was eye opening when I saw what they were actually doing and from what era they were doing it in. And it makes it and it reminds me of of the great era of music that we came from the late 60s, early
Those
70s,
last
and
three
came at Kiss
commercial
Radio and
tunes.
all that music.
Those last 3 commercial tunes were all Crystal Winter songs. We had played them all from all those 3 commercial tunes which you guys played were all songs which Crystal Winter covered. Just wanted to say, but I'm so sorry to have interrupted.
No,
We're talking about how far back they go, and
Yeah.
we're talking about me. I'm going back 42 freaking ass years.
That they wrote what they wrote, and then you mentioned Galen Niles was actually one of the great instructors here in San Antonio.
He was,
Many
yeah.
guitar players learned the real shit.
Now that was
from,
a talk
from Galen.
That
Yeah.
was a talk over at Fitzgerald. There was just a mumble. It was a word going around. I was like
No, he
saying,
was-
"Well, damn straight. This is why." That's why I bring up Vince, Vinny Coy, because Vincent Coy was with Clear, and it was a whole different band, but they were cousins.
But if I was to mention a great desire, one of the great desires that I have, and it kind of isn't for anything, but for people to know what it was like in the early middle 70s. If I had a pack of cigarettes and a couple of beers and a new cassette of a new band that was out, we
want
held
one
that
now.
cassette till midnight because we were listening to KMAC Kiss Radio till they went off the air. And just riding around in San Antonio and listening to that music, and then realizing after I moved to Miami, I moved to Seattle, I moved to other places, I asked other people who are my age about what they heard when
Give
they
it
were
up to
young.
Kiss K-Mac.
And they did not have that experience.
No, they
we
didn't.
had.
They didn't.
And it would
Kiss,
be my great
K-Mac,
desire for people
KTFM.
to really
I don't know how
understand.
many other bands there were. I mean,
Yeah.
shows,
And-
radio
and,
talk
and the other
shows.
thing
Radio
was,
shows,
is,
no talk
is
shows.
as soon as I got old enough to get into the bars, I went to go see bands play, and it was you guys. And
There you
there
have
was
it.
nobody who was
That's
getting
how old
close
we
to
are.
the stage without some real chops.
Amen.
Nobody was going out there and playing unless they could really play.
Oh, we
Because
were
the
doing note
music
for
that
note,
they were
man.
playing from that era demanded that you had great drums, great vocals, and great guitars.
Great
and
vocals,
and that's where I
absolutely.
came from. And like I said, one of my great desires would be for people to really to be able to explain to people, because you can't, what it was like living in that era. You know, we would go pull up at the Food City parking lot, and all the cars would park in a big circle. They would all open up their trunks playing K-Mac Kiss radio.
Yeah.
And we'd sit there and throw Frisbees to each other because we were too young to go anywhere else. And we were having fun and drinking. And the cops would come by and ride around a circle around all of us and then drive away, because we weren't the kids who were making a problem. We were the kids who were just loving the music that we were hearing.
Yes.
And it was just
And having
a
a party.
scene and a time and it really was a great time.
Hey, and the 60s were pretty cool too. I saw the Beatles. I saw the
I
Beatles
can't
on Ed
remember
Sullivan's
them.
show
Yes.
in 1964.
remember-
I was 4 years old.
Yeah, I was
1960s, right? 1960s.
Yeah.
I woke up about 70.
Not the 1860s,
I woke up
1960s.
72, man. I woke
But yeah,
up at
but you,
72.
you asked me earlier about what
64
was my
on through is kind of a
inspiration.
blur.
Seeing that was now my father was horrified, especially by John Lennon. My mother was fascinated, but that was what kind of put the bug in my ear.
Yeah.
And trying to do the roll around the kids' drum set
Yeah.
in '69 kind of finished off putting the bug together.
Yeah.
But
My
yeah,
little trip was Ringo's intro. Do-do-do-do. She loves you, yeah, yeah. That's all he had. But that was like,
And-
I
and-
want to play drums.
and play it right hand, but it lead with the left hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rolls
yeah,
as a
yeah.
lefty.
But he was a
Yeah.
left-handed drummer. Nobody knew that was his nuance. It was just a normal nuance.
That's
Drummers
one of the
have that.
things that makes him one of the hardest drummers
Yes,
to emulate.
Duplicate. Absolutely.
You think
And
it's
because of
easy
the way
Because
he
you
rolled.
hear what he's
you
doing.
can do the
You
same
think it's
roll
easy, and it's
right-handed,
not.
Yeah.
and it just sounds
won't sound
different.
the same. It won't sound quite the same, but you can deal with it. You can deal with it. I have.
Yeah.
I'm not like you, Jerry. No. I'm just kidding. This guy can play everything and anything. You know? I love the
Shucks,
guy.
man.
Oh, shucks. And I play a Yamaha.
Thanks,
and
Ed.
he's a DW guy, and he doesn't play. He doesn't do chopsticks. Ernie Durawa. Now this is a Texas Tornado guy, but I think those are actually production giveaways. You know, they're his signature production giveaways. Either that or they're timbali sticks. That's all. I can
Innovative percussion.
Well, I'll tell you what, I remember
percussion
walking in
that
the
covers
first
your ass.
practice with this guy on the drums, and I was like, oh, wow, he's got that.
He's got that
and we kept going. I was like, okay, there's going to be some strong drums in there.
See, a
He's
lot of
got
people
that.
don't know I can
remember
throw
doing
down,
my
man.
first gig with this guy, and I was like, damn, he's got that. I believe that was the gig you were talking about when I said, I'm so glad we got.
After we got on stage,
After we got on stage.
It helps that you're
Damn,
younger
man, and these
than
guys
us,
are,
you know,
these
because
guys
you
are
have better
great players.
lungs than we do.
What's that?
Well, you have better lungs than we do. I can guarantee
Well,
you.
you know,
okay?
also being a front man isn't just about having lungs, though,
There
because you
you
can,
go. There
you
you
look
go.
at Mick Jagger, you look at John Lennon. These guys didn't have operatic voices, right?
Yeah,
they're not,
yeah.
they're not your singer, but they are
They're
a
a sound-
vocalist and front
they're a
man. So
sound
part of my
maker.
job is to get crowd going, is to get hype, is to move the masses with the music going. And I enjoy doing
Yeah,
that.
I was about to
you
say
know,
that
I
must be
enjoy
fun.
doing that. You know,
I don't do that.
That's
You
really
know,
what I
just
saw
go
the other
and
night.
play.
I saw you really leading in that forum where you wanted to emulate the Stone Temple Pilot groove. You know, if nothing else, it was an emulation of, and it's not the
Right.
exact groove.
correct.
But you get what you come out to see, and that's exciting music, note for note stuff. Pena throwing down Mickey, all the guys that were there with you tonight, that night. That's what prompted this show on San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network, birthday Scorpio month night. What do y'all think about that? Pretty solid, huh?
Yeah, another Heineken. No.
And then we got more,
That's what I
man.
think about it.
And with that said,
Because you said Heineken on your birthday. I'm
Dude's
like,
got a
all
mini
right.
keg in the sink, okay?
yeah,
I
we
know,
have a
I know,
medicated
I know I
sink.
need to bring another one by one day.
Andy Garza, my pimpon. I'm starting a new band called Los Pimpones.
Los Pimpones.
Los
Yeah,
Pimpones.
yes, yeah. The pimps.
Oh, there you
Pimps
go.
in Spanish. I am the Grand Pimpon. Yes.
Pimpon
Only
Grande.
I
Grande
can, only I
Pimpones?
can
Yeah.
say who are pimpettes. who are pimponitos, pimponotos, pimposotos, and they go on and on and on. And all you guys would be like pimponettis.
Pimpanettis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm the only one that can say these things. I just want you.
I'm almost sure of that.
It's 09ers over there going, what are you talking about? What is it? Ping-pong, ponton?
Oh, man over here.
¿Qué se dice con el ping-pong?
Us John Day, well, yeah, people.
And then
It was written all over our walls, bro.
And the people that follow us are all pimponeros. They're all pimponeros. They're all pimps. You know. So anyway, both Andy christened me that, and I just kind of ran with it and thought, you know, I can't think of a better name for a band, you know, and then play rock. You know, really throw them off. Maybe throw in some accordion, something right in the middle for the lead.
This is your next band.
It's a pentatonic.
You might be playing. You might sing a lead. I'm just saying. All you guys are invited to join.
The accordion is a
Ed, it is,
pentatonic.
You are lying.
The band as I go. Okay.
Right? Yeah, it is
Okay.
suggestive of a great many things.
Well, that's what we are.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
That's
there
what
you
we
go.
are.
Somebody
So,
had to say it.
You know, we're going to have to sound off because time's about up. So I think this has been a fabulous show. Happy Scorpio month to everybody. Happy Scorpio month to everybody.
All right,
y'all.
happy Scorpios.
Thank you, Phil Lewis, our engineer. And
Thanks,
shout
Phil.
out from San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network.
All right.
I just simply want to say go out and go do something good for somebody today because we're out to change the world one day at a time. Ain't that right, man?
That's right.
One
Yes,
laugh,
sir.
one chuckle. No more sadness, no more sorrow, man. We're
Wow.
going to share our world. We're going to make it a happy one. How about that, guys?
I love
Nice.
it.
Nice.
Thank you,
do that.
sir.
Good.
Let's
Thank
do
you.
that. All right. A lot of love, Pig Nation. All the guys. Larry here.
All right.
I'm in town.
That's what he said, Larry, and I will shake his hand. All right.
Larry Ping-pong.
I love these guys. Thank God they can take a joke. Hey, with that said, we're the heck out of here. Another Heineken, please.
All
Peace
right.
on the menu.
Peace.
Thank you.
Ta-ta.
Peace.